All right. Hey, everyone. Happy Monday, December 19th. This is a Replo Community Live CRO Teardown with Oddit. So Replo is excited to host today's event with Sean Brandt, co-founder of Oddit. During today's event, Sean's going to be providing expert analysis and actionable tips to help optimize your website and improve conversion rates. Quick intro on Replo, and then I'll turn it over to the Oddit crew. So Replo is a visual web development platform that allows teams to create beautiful, high-performance landing pages on Shopify without the need for developers. Replo is light years ahead of other page builders when it comes to customization and page speed. We have a library of hundreds of proven landing pages and sections that anyone can use, as well as certified experts who can help build new pages in just a few days. I'm going to turn it over now to Sean and the Oddit team, and you guys can take it from here.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin. Just a little background on Oddit if anyone isn't familiar. We do what we call brand first CRO reports. So essentially what that is we provide UX teardowns for direct consumer and SaaS companies looking to convert more. A lot of it is focused on design feedback, UX feedback, basically any changes that we can recommend that are going to reduce friction in the customer experience. So it's not your traditional CRO where we're going in and doing split testing, A/B testing for customers. We kind of provide them a report of feedback, and then they kind of take that into their system or however they're developing changes on site, and they kind of have a roadmap of what to change and what to test. Thomas, do you have a list of sites to check out first?
Yep, I've got a couple, and then anyone on the chat is welcome to throw in their URL right now. But let's actually first, is there anyone from the Tails team here? That was a site that we had someone submitted earlier on, but I just want to make sure someone from the team is here. If not, we'll jump to Plants Are Purple. Okay, cool. Let's jump to Plants Are Purple, Sean, and then we'll get to Zoe Sleep, David.
Okay.
Sweet.
Just going to screen share here. Am I allowed to screen share? It doesn't give me the option.
Try it again now.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
All right, everyone can see this?
Yep.
How do I hide this damn thing? Of course, there's no option to Google Translate, so I will be giving no copy recommendations. Let me just scroll through this quickly. I believe I actually did a quick win on this a few weeks ago. Tough to say much on the header just because I don't, obviously it says build your bundle here, so I know that that's something that they're offering. One thing that I'll mention when it comes to bundling, it's whenever you're telling people buy something in bulk or buy something in multiples, you need to give them added motivation. Just having 2 or 3 show up at their door instead of 1 is not motivation. They're not idiots. They know that just generally means they're spending more money. So anytime you're talking about bundles, even if it's as simple as a button label, you need to be telling them what they're getting out of it. So in this case, let's say that that's the translation is, save, build your bundle. Just say build your bundle and, save up to 20%, save up to 40%. The higher that number is, the more clicks it's going to get naturally. But you need to give them a little bit better idea of what that is. Small thing here, but when you're formatting product cards, whether it's desktop or mobile, you kind of want each section to be aligned. It's just easier to scan and easier for users to click through to everything. These aren't terribly, misaligned, but when you get certain products with longer descriptions or titles that could get out of hand and they could be really different. So you want to just make sure that you're adapting the base card to whatever your longest product card would be. So then everything else would align with it. Where these I would stack similar to this. We just see higher conversion when the products aren't scrolling offsite. This special, I'm not sure if this is translating exactly, but whenever you're going to show a discount, I like to show why. Like, is this on sale? Is it is it because it's the bundle? Is that why we're getting the discount? Just be more clear on what the discount is and why. Sorry, this is hard because can't read any of this. Unless someone has a hack on how to get this to convert to English without using.
Sean, try and reload it. Get out of mobile and then just reload it in desktop.
Oh, there, it gave me it now. What the hell?
There you
I don't
go.
know why it didn't give me it the first time.
That's weird.
Showing the full form reviews like this, like the actual plugin on the homepage, I wouldn't recommend. It's great, like all the information there is great, but this is more for people on a specific product and scanning through to see what people are saying about it. Unless these are specifically directed at the store or the brand, this could be confusing for users because they're reading reviews towards specific products that they haven't actually shown interest in yet. I would move this up the page and just call out the key info. So we've had 100,000 customers, or we've got 5,000, 4,300 plus 5-star reviews, or whatever, 5,000 plus reviews. Here's the overall rating. And here's a couple snippets of like what customers are saying about us, and keep it pretty high level. Like, this one is 2 sentences. This one is 4. Some of them can get pretty long. I like to keep it focused on, especially for the homepage, curating reviews that highlight the key traits. So like, if you're seeing a ton of customer feedback on how amazing your shipping is and how fast it is and cost, focus on a review on that. If you're seeing customers whose skin is transforming because of the product and that's what everyone's stoked about, focus on that. Same thing goes for the products that they're talking about. Instead of just picking random reviews, pull in reviews for the best products, like the best selling products, sorry. So that users see that over something that's maybe a lower seller or a new item. Let's go to a product page quick. Okay, so first thing to note here is on mobile, we want to be sure that we're getting users to that action as fast as possible. There's certain products that almost require a vertical or a portrait crop image in order to be communicated better. So like if you're selling high-end clothing, like a $1,000 dress, or like something that really requires you to see kind of head to toe of an image, that could be something you would accommodate maybe a taller image for. This product is just a bottle. There's a lot of white space. There's really no reason that this can't be made into a square image or even smaller. And the same goes for all the secondary images. Like there's just nothing but white space here. There's no reason that these need to be so tall. It's not a requirement of communicating the product. So first comment is just, let's just get these as tight as possible. Whether it's using Photoshop or just cropping these wider, you can get these into a square 1-to-1 ratio. The other thing to mention is make sure that every image has a purpose. A lot of users are using this gallery as their key source of information. So let's just say in this scenario, 50% of the users that land here get their information from here. 50% of the users that land here get their information from here. That's not accurate, obviously, but a lot of users do use the gallery as their primary source of information, or at least their first source. So you need to make sure that every image has a purpose. So for example, this one shows both pieces of packaging. It's a good image to have. This one shows the packaging again, same thing, front, but it shows two ingredients that not every user is going to know what the hell they are. So it doesn't really have value. This shows those same ingredients. So first comment, delete that image. I would also show the back of the label, right? So maybe there's like the ingredients or whatever, show that close up. In this image, again, you're assuming that the user knows what this is. So you're essentially just wasting their time to look at an image with no information. And I have read nothing about this product, so excuse me, but like, is this water, oil? What is this? Is this salt or sugar? Is this, I'm sure it's neither of those things, but I'm just saying, like, you're giving the user no context as to what's actually happening here and what they're looking at. Certain pieces and certain products and certain ingredients, they're going to be like, yeah, like there's a strawberry here. I mean, most users sure are going to know it's a strawberry, but for the most part, this doesn't tell me anything. So if you're going to show an image like this, make sure that it has little labels pointing out all of these ingredients, or even pointing out what the ingredients are and what they're great for. So, you know, sugar, great for giving energy. Obviously not relevant here, but just giving an example. Again, you're showing the front of the product. So we've got that 3 times. So again, this image is completely irrelevant, delete it. This one is relevant because it's showing the actual product, the color, the consistency, maybe even how much I'm using. So this could be valuable. I think in addition, I would pull in a piece of UGC, maybe a review. And again, the back of the label. Should we try another brand, Thomas, or should I just keep going?
Yeah.
Got past the header here, but
Do you want to maybe spend another minute or two on Plants Are Purple, and then we'll jump to Zoe Sleep?
okay. So the other thing I see now that I'm scroll down and I see what the product title is, pro aging super serum. So I'm guessing tightened and plump skin is the result. So although it can come off a lot of times as kind of cheesy if not done properly, but you're claiming that this product is going to do a certain result to skin. It can be really helpful to show a before and after. It doesn't need to be the drastic infomercial before and after where the person looks 20 the person looks 50, and then in the after using your product once they look 20. Like, make it realistic. But connecting the dots between like what it's actually doing for your skin and showing a person in that results phase, or at least a happy customer, can be really helpful. This is interesting. So right below the headline, we call out, it's a serum, which I think is important to call out. But then you call out 3% hyaluronic acid, snow fungus, and black truffle. Great to know, but you're assuming that users know what the hell those things do for their skin. And I think, if you're not going to tell them what the benefits are of those ingredients, it might be better to just outline the benefits. So maybe it's, here's the 3 things that this product does for your skin, instead of here's 3 ingredients. Okay, this is a big one. You are offering a discount to subscribe, but when they go to add to cart, it still says $50. So there's likely a lot of drop off happening where they're either leaving or they're just going back to this one because they're worried that this is going to add to cart still for $50, even though they're subscribing. So that's a major thing that needs to be fixed. Even if they assume that there's just a typo there, they're adding to cart kind of with this hesitance, and that's never a good thing. Would test removing the quantity selector and allowing it in cart instead. Only in cart, sorry. Let's see. So see, once they're in here, they can still access it. Not sure what that says, but it looks important. I like showing the alternate payment options here. I would test surfacing the one that gets used the most. So let's just say that 20% of transactions are alternate payment methods and half of those are Klarna. I would give a clear action after the add to cart that says pay with Klarna. Kind of like your best sellers. You're surfacing what you're noticing about your brand as being prominent or most used by users, most purchased. Same thing here. If you're seeing your customer base or whatever country you're primarily selling to, they're always using Klarna or PayPal, let's surface that as an action, and then the alternates can be below that. So there's the right idea here, but the whole benefit of creating like check boxes or a bullet list is making it easy to scan. And in this case, we're kind of just leaving it as a paragraph with little breaks in it. So it actually makes it no easier to scan. It's actually almost harder because there's no punctuation or capitalization. So I would just pull these into actual like single lines. So check 1 and then check 2. If there's, if they run 2 lines, 3 lines, doesn't matter. Like, let's just get them formatted properly so it's easier to get through. All right, Thomas, what do you think?
Yep, that's good. Let's jump to zoesleep.com. And then David, if you want to give just a little background on the site, maybe some struggles, just any other context for Sean.
Hey guys, I think I'm coming on the camera. Oh, there we go. I'm under the weather, so I'm in bed today.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah, pretty much we used to have a fairly optimized website, and then we were going to be featured on TV. So I was like, but it was optimized, but really ugly, like really ugly. And so we're like, let's just take a template and throw it up. And so this is what we've kind of had for the past 6 months. Signed up with Replo to get it cleaned up, and we're gonna get to work after this call.
How did conversion get affected when you switched from the last one to the new one?
It did drop. I mean, you'll see like even where our checkout is, like we don't identify like our 100-night trials or 5-year warranties. There's definitely a lot of room for improvement. But we've also just made a massive shift to marketplaces and pulled back on a lot of spend. So we don't have like super accurate data on how it's been affected. But I overall, it's definitely dropped.
Okay. That's not surprising, regardless of whether the site's better or worse. When you make drastic change like that, it tends to have a negative effect.
Yeah.
First comment is guessing these icons pop in like a bottom menu on mobile. Am I just not seeing it?
Which icons?
Like there's no cart or anything.
Oh shit. Okay.
There's no menu. Or is it just a landing page and there's just only one action?
That might also just be a glitch on your, let me see.
On Chrome being a jerk.
I'm checking mobile.
Chrome
Oh, it pops up like that on the bottom.
Okay, yeah, it's just not reading it as a device. Okay, cool.
Yes.
All good.
But I might put it back up.
Yeah, I think on first load, so such a, like when you think of just the data surrounding landing on your homepage, let's just say 100% of users see this, right? And as they start to scroll and see that other menu, the numbers just drop. So even if it's just for that split second there in the header, it could be valuable to, even if they click menu and it loads that bottom one, just something for them that's more common or expected.
Yeah, definitely.
So main thing I see here that I think needs to be rectified is the word sleep can apply to so many categories. So like, am I shopping pajamas here? Am I shopping sheets? Am I shopping pillows? Am I shopping pillowcases? Am I shopping mattress covers? Am I shopping headboards? It really doesn't tell me until here in secondary text. So like, I get it. The image shows a pillow and the pillow clearly looks a little different than normal. But even if you remove all that shit I said, and we're just deciding if we're selling pillows or pillow covers, that's still confusing and not clear to the user. So I think the very first comment is just like, you have their attention for like seconds. They need to understand exactly what you're selling, no confusion. So if that means saying, it could be as simple as off holiday pillow bundles. Like it could be that simple. I would probably suggest having the sale and whatnot featured more as a secondary action or secondary text, and just tell them what you make.
Got it.
Because I think that's the main thing missed here is like, I see what I'm guessing is the product, right? Whether it's the pillar or the case, but I don't really understand what's great about it.
95% pillows. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I get that I can try it and I get that it ships free, which is great, but I still don't know what I'm buying, which makes that information pretty irrelevant. So long story short, I would definitely make the sale or anything you're calling out a little more secondary. Tell them what you sell. Or maybe it's simple, maybe the image is now a video and it's showing them, you know, zip this, I don't know, I haven't got there yet, but as you know, this cooling pillowcase on their pillar or whatever it is. Like, just be more clear with what you sell. You're going to drive way higher conversion if the customer understands what they're looking at instantly.
Got it. Makes sense.
These look great. I think I would try and find a way to build additional trust with these. So maybe it's calling out what they said. The logos can be really powerful, but it's so easy to copy paste a logo on Google and say that they featured you and no one will ever check or know.
Yeah.
So I find that just pulling in a pull quote or anything that was said or an award, like anything that's a little more real, can have a better impact. And it's just, they can kind of see it, build some trust, move on.
Got it. Do you recommend scrolling or not on mobile?
Side to side.
Yeah.
When you say scrolling, you mean like automatic?
Potentially, or just like, or should it just be kind of lined up as condensed as possible and just?
I would, yeah. What we normally recommend is we say pick three that are like either the most important to you brand or the most relevant to your brand or the most popular or common.
Yeah. And
kind of let them pick through, you know, it's almost like the logos are a selector.
Got it.
So if I click on women's health, it shows me what they said. If I click on sleep org,
Cool.
it shows me what they said. This section, I think there's a disconnect with the content. So we're showing lifestyle imagery, right? And again, at this point, I still don't know what you sell. So we're showing lifestyle imagery. I'm guessing it's something to do with pillows. Then we say a science behind a better night's sleep. But then we don't actually go into any science. So there's a disconnect, right? The heading and the copy below always needs to be connected. So if you're going to talk about the science, talk about the science, like science behind a better night's sleep. Here's 3 bullet points about the science that makes this pillow amazing. Shop now. Instead, you kind of go into this real, like, here's how it fits to your body. Here's how it feels. And that's really nothing to do with science. So I would either just change the sub copy or change the headline. And then I also cut it down. I think there's a lot of like, there's just too much info there. I think what you're saying there can be communicated probably a little simpler.
Sounds good.
The other way for both this section and this section, pretty much the whole site, that you can rectify what I said at the beginning of like, how do users know what you sell without even thinking?
Yeah.
It's just add it to the button label. So like every button should just say shop product title now, shop cooling pillowcases now, shop ergonomic pillow now, shop whatever the hell you sell. Because then if they're scanning through this site and they came through an ad and they know what they want, they don't have to read anything, right? If they're just scrolling through the site and every button says shop now, that could be one button goes to, you know, a lot of sites do this. They all say shop now and then one button goes to all products, one goes to one product, one goes to best sellers, one, and it's just confusing. And those button labels need to communicate kind of like a road sign, like here's exactly where you're going. So whatever the URL is that's going to, it needs to tell them what that is. And that's a easy way to communicate the product.
Sweet.
Okay, so we got the pillow, blanket, mattress topper. So is there 4 products total?
Yes. There's a cotton pillowcase as well. It's not shown in that collection, so 5. But that's pretty much it.
So because there's only so few, because there's so few SKUs,
Yeah.
I, especially on mobile, I would just show all of them here.
All of them, yeah.
Whether you need the space to have them one column or rows of 2, I would split test that, but I think either way, they're not needing to explore that much. I would just show all 4.
Got it.
Super small thing, but this white on orange or yellow, whatever you want to call it,
Hard to see.
it's hard to see. It's not accessible. And then you do it in black here and you can see the difference.
Your beanie's color.
Exactly. Here again, the copy's fine. It's fine to use a marketing tag to be like, get better sleep, shop. But again, I still don't know where I'm clicking. Like, am I shopping? Am I going to the all collection? I'm guessing I am.
Makes sense.
No, that button's broken, by the way. Just takes me to the home page again.
Fantastic.
So you should have said, go to top of page. That's what the button says.
Yeah. No. The,
Um,
the specific names is definitely makes a lot of sense because a lot of these do go to the pillow.
Yeah.
But
Stop waking up on the rest of the store. See, this is good content, but again, we should make it, let's just make it easier to get through. So like that first paragraph should just say, you know, bullet point, no more waking up unrested in store. Second line is just marketing fluff. You just already said that, you don't need to say it. Next bullet could say immaculate head and neck support. Or it could be one bullet that says immaculate head and neck support to wake up fresh and, you know, no soreness. Like that it could easily be one simple sentence. Yeah, I just make it more accessible. And I think one other thing to note, like every time you're intending to get a user excited about the product, don't leave them hanging. So like, get them excited, give them an action to take. Get them excited, give them an action to take. So like, they're watching this video of how amazing the product is. Give them an action to take. You're talking about how much better their days are going to be. Give them an action to take. Like every section, as long as it's warranted and the section makes sense for it, there should be an action. Even if it's the same action 20 times on the page, you need to keep hitting them with it. Okay, let's go to our product page now that I've spent too much time up here. So same comment as the last one. I think there's definitely a lot of repeat imagery here. And we don't, whenever it comes to a user's time, you want to be very careful and never provide duplicate, whether it's copy or images. Like you want them to get through and get as much as they can out of it, right? So one image of the product, maybe on a bed like this, it gives them a little bit of perspective of how big it is. One image of, I would actually do this image like overhead. So I actually see not the effect, like how drastic the curve is. And I might even add a little line in there that talks about what the curve does. Like, why is that curve there? You know what I mean? Why is it such a big difference maker? Because in a lot of images, if you're not highlighting, it could just look like someone pushed it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So highlight that there. I would not show colors here. Maybe put the secondary color at the end of the gallery so that if they do click here, they can still see it.
Right.
But maybe don't put it in a row, if that makes sense. I like this image because it shows how the curve could be used.
Mhm. I used to use the Amazon images, like throw them in, not this, they were just like, you know, very Amazon-y and it looked kind of scammy, but I think it worked. I used to consistently look at like the Lucky Orange and see how people engage with a lot of the content and stuff. That hasn't been a thing lately, but curious to see if you think those images would be utilized well.
I would definitely try them. I am, again, as long, like, I'm guessing most of your market is America, like
Yeah.
selling in the US.
Yes.
Especially in the US, it's just e-commerce experience and what's expected or how people shop has just been it's so dictated by Amazon, unfortunately. And as ugly and unsurprising as their experience is, it's what people are used to. And
Yeah.
so I wouldn't suggest replicating a lot of things from Amazon, but one thing that they do really well is help help stores get the right images into their products, because they know that a lot of users use the gallery as their primary source of information. So
yeah,
it can't hurt to try it for sure.
Okay.
I feel like I say this every time, so I apologize if anyone's heard this, but we always say never make customers do math. So whether they're looking at this and saying, you know, $22 and doing the math in their head, or trying to figure out the percent, like, just say it, just tell them 20% off or whatever it is, because the second you're making them think about it, you're just taking more of their time, and the more time you take that they're not hitting at the cart, the lower your conversion is. I would test showing price on these selectors.
Okay, next to them.
Yeah, because it may not work, but what's happening is you're forcing users to take an extra click.
Yeah, to go back.
In order to explore, and maybe they click king and they're like, oh shit, that's too expensive. Like, you always want to reduce the number of clicks and friction there, right? So my guess is that communicating more clearly on these, you may see more people buying a queen over a king, but this isn't really one of those things where people are like, oh, let's go with the cheaper option. It's not like 1 or 3 bottles of vitamins. You either have a queen bed or a king bed. So
yeah,
they have a size that they need anyway. You may as well just be upfront with the price.
Got it.
Same here. Maybe not the total price because it's going to be relevant to this, but maybe make these wider and say, like, on the 2 and 4, just have a little tag on top of it that says, you know, save 20%, and then on 4, save 40%. I don't know what they are, but
Yeah.
like, just
we
be more.
Sorry, we used to have like most popular and most best value. It was like structured much better, but this was not done well.
That could work as well. I would maybe split test that versus having the actual like dollar savings or percentage savings called out as well.
Got it.
Yeah. And then these, I would, if you can't get them side by side on a single line, I would move them below down here.
Got it.
Maybe test having one above the add to cart, like in stock and ready to ship. There's also this 100-night trial. I would add risk free there, and I would probably just put it as a sticker. I say sticker, but some sort of like label up here on the first image, because you don't need all this image space. Add it as like a bright blue sticker, and then just say like 100. Casper is a perfect example of using stickers and shit like that. Like, they're very strategic with how those are placed because they know it has such a huge drive on conversion.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tom? Do we got more to go through, or should I just keep going?
Let's do one more if we want to just do, it's called tables.com.
Sorry, last thing, David, I would make this an image in your gallery.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Or thank you.
Yeah, of course. Hope that was helpful.
Definitely.
Sorry, Tom, Tails.
Yep. Tails.com. And I don't think the person who submitted is here, but I think he'll watch the recording. I think his name's Spencer. It's a cool.
I had this, someone submitted this for a quick one. I remember talking about how amazing this idea is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is brilliant. Okay, let me just look at this quickly. I think my first question when I get here, because this product actually, genuinely excites me, and I would totally do this with my grandparents. I think my very first question is, how long does it take, right? Like, and how long is the output? So is there like, are you paying by the minute? Are you paying by the question? Is it set fees? I'm sure that gets into that when I hit get started, but like, those are kind of my first questions is, how long does this take? What's the start, from 1 minute to 20 minutes? Is it a true life story and it's hours? Like, how are they dealing with that? And it kind of just says, here's the steps and then get started, which I'm guessing is going to give me a lot more info. Interesting. Okay, sorry, I'm just going to click through these and see. I have a lot of comments on this already. I just want to click through and see what happens. Okay, here's the time. Okay, let's go back to the start. Okay, so very first thing when you're talking about a quiz, you need to define in a quiz flow which questions are relevant to the user and which ones are relevant to the brand. This question is very pertinent to their purchase. That said, it's kind of a step that's not needed till post-purchase. So like, is it really necessary to ask them who they're interviewing if it doesn't affect the price? So it may be a nice section to like give them ideas of who they want to interview, but I would suggest testing or removing this, because I can ask this in a post-purchase survey or a post-purchase email, or even further in the flow when I have their credit card info, for example. So that's the first comment. Second one, I definitely don't need their name yet. So you're asking them to fill out 2 more fields and take an action when I don't need the information to put my credit card in, and I don't need the information to put to pick a package, right? 1, 2, 3. So the first comment here is, I'm just going to do some quick math. 30 minutes for $200. This is 2.5 for 600. So just some quick cowboy math. 600 per 9. So they're getting about 30% free. That needs to be called out here. So I'm guessing this is the best value, 4 hours of time. It's roughly the same savings, but identifying which is the best value, maybe even showing how much per hour it is, could be helpful. So 645 X per hour. Kind of like when you're shopping for groceries in bulk, like showing the price per unit and then showing the price per unit when they buy in bulk, if they buy in 3 or 4. It can be really helpful to help people, push people over the edge. Just showing the single price, it's not going to help them pick these higher priced items. Where is it they see the cost per hour or cost per minute going down as they go into these more expensive ones, it could be the driver that helps push them into a more expensive package. On mobile, if again, Chrome's being a jerk, but if this is how it displays on mobile, these cards need to be much more clear. This text is very, very small. The minutes associated with this are the absolute most important information shown here. So this headline, this headline, this headline, even the titles. The key here is 30 minutes, 2.5 hours, 4 hours. So I would keep this content in this little square, and I would add a little circle up here that makes the number 4 and hours huge in comparison to this on all of these. So it's just, again, we're talking about making these easier to scan, easier to get through, easier to understand. So call out the time much louder because it's a key piece of information. Call out the price per hour or even minute might be crazy, but price per 30 minutes or price per hour so that they see the discount as you buy more. Weird. Well, let me scan. Well, let me scroll. Let me try it on desktop. Oh, that's the end. That's fine. I would delete this completely. We already say that in these. So if anything, make these cards a little bit bigger and show that info more clearly, but this is completely useless. I would delete that. Okay, so let's click one of these. Let's see what happens here. Now this information is important as opposed to the other person. And then we get the more standard checkout. So I think overall that purchase flow needs to be a little more clear about what they're getting. Just gonna go back to the homepage just to see how they show the examples. In that, sorry, last thing on this. In this section, when they're thinking about how much to spend with your brand, it could be helpful to, because this is information that you say twice, remove that and maybe pull in some customer reviews here of happy customers, and even, you know, show which one they bought. So it could be just one and it's kind of fading in and out, or showing a few and they can scroll between and read. But any type of validation or social proof you can provide here could be helpful. It could even be at the top saying, you know, 2,000 successful recordings, or 2,000 successful life stories captured, or anything that says, hey, other people have used this and they loved it, or other people have used this and we didn't fuck it up. These are great. These should be bullet points though. These are all separate items. And it reads like a paragraph with no punctuation. These should be left aligned and either check marks, bullets, something like that. That's all I have for this. It's a pretty small site, but again, love the idea. So whoever came up with it, good on you.
Awesome. All right, I think that's it. Unless anyone has anything else.
Does anyone have any questions or comments or anything like that?
Awesome, guys. I really appreciate it today. Thank you so much, Sean and Thomas and the whole Oddit team. And thanks everyone for coming today, and looking forward to doing this again real soon. So thank you guys.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, Justin.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, y'all. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks.